This is Paxelle 6 today. Your weather and the day's news explained. Let's get to it. Well, Hattie, too. Right now, it's 79 degrees and partly cloudy in Chaparral, with winds out of the southeast at 2 miles per hour. We're headed for a high near 100 today. Here's a live look from Riley Tower.
A video circulating online appears to show a malfunction on a slingshot-style attraction at an amusement park in Sunland Park, near the New Mexico-Texas border. The park is Western Playland, and the ride involved is called the Southwest Slinger. The footage, posted on social media, spread quickly and drew significant attention. The park released a formal statement acknowledging the incident the following day. Details on exactly what went wrong, whether anyone was hurt, and what the park's next steps are, that's still developing. What we do know is that officials are aware of the incident. We'll bring you more as that information comes in. If you spent Friday evening at Western Playland over in Sunland Park, you may have already seen the video making the rounds on social media. Friday night, 2 guests were riding the Southwest Slinger when the ride experienced a failure on its way down. That malfunction sent both riders into a structural beam that's part of the ride itself, and 2 people were hurt. A park spokesperson confirmed to ABC7 that the injuries are described as minor. First responders were called to the scene, assessed both guests right there at the park, and emergency procedures were activated to bring everyone down safely. In a statement, the park said the ride was operating within normal parameters at the time and that all required inspections for the Slinger and every other ride at the park are current. The park shut the Southwest Slinger down immediately as a precaution, and it will stay closed while the park works through a full review alongside the ride's manufacturer. Western Playland is a well-known amusement park here in the El Paso area, and we'll keep an eye on that investigation and bring you any updates as they come in. Here in Chaps and across New Mexico, a political process most voters have never seen up close is about to decide who stands beside the Democratic nominee for governor this November. Here's the backstory. Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse Oliver won the Democratic primary for lieutenant governor back in June and won it easily, but then stepped away from the race just weeks later, citing health concerns. That left the party's ticket with an open slot and a deadline looming. So starting this Saturday, roughly 500 members of the Democratic Party's State Central Committee, party insiders chosen at the county level, will begin voting to fill that spot. 4 candidates are in the running: State Senator Harold Pope, Commissioner of Public Lands Stephanie Garcia Richard, and 2 others, Jeffrey Luering and Tony Pinedo. Pope and Garcia Richard have done the heaviest campaigning, and the endorsement battle has been significant. Garcia Richard carries the backing of gubernatorial candidate Deb Haaland, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, and other top state officials, while Pope has drawn support from progressive and grassroots organizations, including the Albuquerque and Santa Fe chapters of the Democratic Socialists of America. The vote itself works differently from a standard election. It uses a ranked choice system, and ballots are not secret. Candidates and committee members can later request records showing how individuals voted. Voting stays open through Tuesday afternoon, with results expected to be announced Wednesday. For New Mexicans watching the November race take shape, this weekend's outcome will set the Democratic ticket heading into the general election on November 3rd. At least 1 person was killed and several others were injured in Berlin today after a vehicle drove into a crowd gathered for a pride event. Police have identified a suspect in connection with the attack. Authorities say that individual was already known to police and had ties to Islamist circles. An investigation is now underway as officials work to determine exactly what happened and why. Details are still developing, and specifics around the suspect and the full scope of the injuries remain unclear. We'll bring you updates as this story continues to unfold. Neighbors in Northeast El Paso gathered this past Saturday to protest a proposed metadata center in their area. A group of community members and activists organized what they're calling a block party protest, using that name with a double meaning, turning a neighborhood gathering into a public demonstration against the project. Organizers say their concerns include potential health impacts, noise levels, and water consumption. Details on the project itself are still developing. We have reached out for comment and are working to get more specifics on what has been proposed, where things stand, and how Meta and local officials are responding. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
That's your Paxelle 6 update. Stay right here on Channel 6.